What's up, guys, and welcome back to Bible Fun with the Duns. Today, we're in the new book of the Bible, Genesis, and today we're covering Genesis 1 through 3. Let's get started. In Genesis chapter 1, on the very first day of creation, God created light and dark. He called this day and night. On the second day, He created the space above the waters, and He called it sky. On the third day, He made dry land and called it earth. On the fourth day, He put the light in the heavens, like the stars and the moon and the sun. These were here to give us reminders of the different seasons. On the fifth day, He made birds of the air and sea creatures. On the sixth day, He made animals on land. He also made man and called it this His favorite creation out of everything He had made. On the sixth day, He also noticed that the man, Adam, was lonely, so He created another human, and it was a woman. He named her
man.
Eve. In Genesis chapter...
But he left out something. He took a rib from Adam and then...
I need to know
It's
this.
fine. Keep going. He took a rib from Adam to make Eve. Pretty cool.
Okay.
Keep on.
In
Chapter 2.
Genesis chapter 2, we begin day 7, the last day of creation. On this day, God rested as a reminder to show us that humans should never keep going without having a break. And this is why we have Saturday. In this chapter, God also lets Adam, the man, name all of the creatures he had made. So, in chapter 3, this is where things start to really get intense. So, there was this tree in the middle of the garden. Adam and Eve were allowed to eat from every tree but this one. This was called the tree of life, and if you ate the fruit from it, you would have knowledge of good and evil. Now, there was a serpent, the devil. He told Eve to eat the fruit because God was just greedy and didn't want them to have the knowledge that he had. So Eve thought about it for a while and she was a little hesitant, but after a while, she ate the fruit. She thought it was good, and so she gave some to Adam. After this, God went looking for them. Eve, Adam, where are you? Now, Adam and Eve didn't have clothes on, so they were hiding. Before this, they didn't care. They didn't really notice. But now that they had knowledge of good and evil, they knew about themselves.
Had self-awareness. Mm-hmm.
So, God asked Adam what happened. Well, Eve gave me the fruit from the middle tree. It's her fault. And then God asked Eve what happened. Well, the serpent told me to eat the fruit from the tree. It's his fault.
Pointing fingers.
Mm-hmm. And so God, at this point, the serpent had legs, which is kind of hard to think about.
Mm-hmm.
So God told him about the consequences that he had to face. God took away his legs, and that's why serpents have to slither on their bellies now. Now, since Adam and Eve had sinned, they were not allowed inside of the Garden of Eden. So God banished them and gave them clothes from animals so they wouldn't have to worry about themselves.
And they had consequences too.
Mm-hmm.
Good deal.
Uh-huh. John, what was your takeaway?
Okay, so all of that serpent part, that's kind of like with my takeaway a little bit. But so the Lord said to the serpent, because you have done this, you are cursed with more than any livestock and animal and more than any wild animal. You will move your belly and eat dust all the days of your life. So it's just saying that it's the serpent's consequences.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Good deal. Jax, what was your takeaway?
My takeaway was how God made all these amazing, miraculous things, but then of all the things he made, he chose us, humans, to be his favorite. And I think it's really cool how God, the Almighty Creator, chose us little people who serve little importance to be his favorite. And he wants a relationship with us. So I think that's really interesting.
I agree. And my takeaway kind of goes with both of those. It's how God has always had a plan for us to be with him. The fall, where Adam and Eve sinned, can be a sad account to think that humanity ruined everything for the rest of the future. But if we look back in Genesis, that chapter right before, chapter 2, in verses 16 and 17, where God is telling them that they can eat everywhere in the garden except for this one tree, we must take notice of God's exact words in the Bible. And it says, "And the Lord commanded the man, saying, You may surely eat of every tree of the garden, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat. For in that day that you eat of it, you will surely die." God knew. He didn't say, if you eat of it, or just in case. He said, in the day that you eat. God knew before they sinned that they would. And he always had a plan for us to still be able to be with him. And from this point here in the Bible, the fall is what changes everything. Humanity's sin is what changes everything. But we will see humanity's relationship with God and the ways that God provides for us to still be with him, even though we messed up and that we continue to mess up. Through the sacrifice of animals, we'll see that in the Old Testament, and then eventually through the sacrifice of his one and only Son, sacrificed once and for all of the sin committed, all of the sin that we will commit. What this tells me about our God is it gives us the perfect setup to know who he is and to know his character throughout the rest of the Bible. God is big and he's mighty, and his plan, he has all the power in the world. He's creator of the universe, and his plan will always win. He will always prevail. And God is also small enough to have a relationship with individual people, y'all too, and even you and me. And God is so loving, and God is so good, and he protects me from the bad things that I do deserve, but he also gives me blessings and good things that I don't deserve. At the fall, when Adam and Eve hid from God, he asks them, "Where are you?" God's God. He knows exactly where they are. He didn't ask them for himself. He wasn't really looking for them. So we know that he wasn't asking that question because he didn't know the answer. He asked that question so Adam and Eve could think about it themselves. They could reflect and see that they were hiding from God because they did wrong. Perhaps God wanted them to know where their hearts were and what had happened that made them want to hide from God. So as we start at the beginning of time in the Word with Adam and Eve, I think this is the perfect spot for us to reflect on this exact same question. Where are you? Kids, parents, families, where is your heart? Where are you in your relationship with God? Do you have a relationship with God? If so, are you trying to be close to God and know him more? Or are you hiding from him and running? If you have any questions or you would like to talk to a pastor about your personal relationship with God, in the comments, in the description box, I have included the emails of our pastors. And these are amazing people who would love to talk to you about having a relationship with Christ. Thank you so much for joining us. We're excited for this new adventure in Genesis. See y'all tomorrow.
Bye.